So here's how we do this really cool, like 3D perspective link style that won't work in all browsers, by the way, as you can probably see in, let's say, Internet Explorer. Okay. We go down here, you're going to see here's all the CSS we need, and here's the HTML. First of all, copy the HTML. So I'll copy that. Go over to Dreamweaver or some other program, doesn't matter. Put it in your body tag, and it could go inside of something else if you want to. It doesn't really matter. And I'll go back. Let's grab the CSS. So copy the CSS. Come back. And then you're probably going to put this in your external style sheet. I'm going to put it right here in the head, just so you can see it, so we can reference it, make it easy for us. And then let's talk about this. Now, I'm going to go try it out. So I'm going to go preview it. And I should see that there it is. Now, here's what's going on. This is actually really kind of tricky and cool. We actually just have a link, basically. So let me go back. You'll see we just have a link right here. Pretty simple stuff. The link could be to just about anywhere. Somebody clicks on it, they go, etc. But we also have around the text in the link, we have the span tag. And the span tag has the most important part here called the data hover. This is part of HTML5, and it's just some data that we could stick in there and some text you've got right there. And this text, you want to have match that text. Now let me show you what it looks like when it doesn't match. I'm just going to put in something, okay? And then we'll go take a look. There's my awesome link. There's something. So you could make it do this if you wanted to, but notice that something is coming from that data. All right, let me back it up. So the first face, if you will, is the original link. The second face is the span here and this data. If you scroll up, or if you look at your CSS rather, you'll see here's the main. Now I put this class here just because it was inside of a box, a div, and I think do I have the div there? Yeah, just have a div. It's just to make it different. You could have put a class inside the A or done something different, but. So for the link, we're just gonna go out and set a few things here. And you're gonna see what's called perspective. Perspective in this case doesn't really animate anything. It just kind of gives it depth, if you will. It gives it z-index and the ability to have depth. So if we were to do some different things, this would make a lot more sense. But in this case, we're just going to use it as is. Now, text-align center is kind of important just so it all centers itself. You'll see that. You'll see right here, we also have the span. So this is the A span. So essentially, A is the original link. A span is the content that we've got. So that's the span content. That's essentially the link content, if you will. That's not the data stuff. That's just what's inside the span tag. So that's this right here. That's the original face. Now, in the original face, we'll call that that. We have a couple things here. We're doing inline block. We're doing a couple things with the transition itself right here. You're going to see WebKit, transition, all these different vendor prefixes, if you will. It's saying we're just going to use this transform, and it's going to take 4 seconds. Now, this is referring to this way down here. So WebKit transform, transform. So down here on hover. So when we hover. Okay, now I'm not going to go through every single thing, but you're going to see right here, transform origin. This is basically where it transforms, or like a point it transforms around. So we're saying roughly 50%, which is important. You can try messing with these numbers and see what it does. And then you'll see a transform style here. Preserve 3D, we basically have two. We have preserve 3D and flat. We don't want flat, because otherwise it'll look flat. Span before, this is kind of interesting. This is saying, okay, before the span, like right before the span, but still in the link, we're going to put that data hover attribute stuff. That's going to be the content of it. So it's essentially saying that we're going to take this stuff right here and put it right before the link, but we're going to do something different with it. We're going to add some formatting. This formatting, this CSS, refers to the second face, the face that's not showing right now. So you're going to see, though, that it's saying, okay, position it, top left. That's pretty much where it was, or where the original is, or where the original span content is. Width, height be the same as the original link. There's a background. Now, the background here is actually going to be a different color. It's going to be a darker color to give it shading. As it rotates around, watch. Let me save this, hopefully I didn't mess it up. Did you notice how it's darker? Here we go. So that face that it starts to come up, that's this color. Now, the face that it's going to become is going to be right here. So that's going to be on hover. It's going to change to that. There's the contents of this face, if you will. And then we have the transition. So this is what's referring down here to the hover. It's saying we're going to do that at 4 seconds, but it's just saying just affect the background, if you will. Okay. So we're going to affect that. And then we have what it's going to do here, how it's going to transform, or actually this is the original transformation. So we transform it originally and we rotate it around the X of minus 90 degrees. That way it's you can't see it essentially. Okay. So it's pretty much flat down on the ground, if you will. And then transform origin. This is what it's going to rotate around eventually. It's the origin. This is the magic. When we hover, now these are just vendor prefixes. They basically do the same thing. We're going to rotate each one around X, 90 degrees positive, and then translate Y, minus 22. You got to try some of these out. Try some of the numbers in here, and you'll see what they do, okay? So that's the Y-axis. And then down here, it's going to say, okay, well, we're going to change the background color of the span before. And if you look right here, it's saying it's going to take, background's going to take 0.4 seconds. It's going to transition between the original background color and the new background color. Wow, that's a lot, huh? So there you go. That's the 3D, essentially. You can try it out, try different values, see what happens. Always go back to the original CSS if you need to.